controlling his self-expression. He was a very active person, definitely. Have narcissistic tendencies.
Creativity, creativity, creativity.
Hi guys! In today's video we're gonna be analyzing Michael Jackson's handwriting. If you wanna check what handwriting says about Freddie Mercury, I'm putting the link in here and also in the description down below. Also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and join our community of Graphology nerds. But without further ado, let's jump straight to the handwriting. Michael Jackson's handwriting is rather rhythmical, which points at him being an organized individual. Also, the writing is rather legible, which means he had a clear mind. I don't know why, but to me it looks like a child was writing this. But anyway, it has an average size, which means he was balanced. Also, if you look at the baseline, it's going down, it's straight, it's going up. So baseline tells us how optimistic you are, which might mean he had lots of emotion in him, which was making him sometimes optimistic, sometimes pessimistic, sometimes okay. His mood was changing a lot. The slant is towards right, which means he was emotionally forward. He wanted to reach out to people on the emotional level, and he was thinking with his heart. Now let's do the spacing. The spacing between words is small. Spacing between words tells us about your interaction with society, with people around you. Since the spacing is small, we can assume he was warm. He might have had a fear of abandonment. He was kind of getting attached to people. The spacing between letters is small again. Spacing between letters, on the other hand, so well done, points towards the intimacy in close personal relationships. Small spacing might actually mean he was self-controlling, he was very cautious, that he was basically controlling his self-expression with close people. When it comes to spacing between lines, they tell us about the need for intimacy. So since the lines are close to each other, it means he had large need for intimacy. So it kind of connects. He had large need for intimacy, he had a fear of abandonment, and he was afraid to fully express himself in front of close people in order not to be abandoned, probably. Now this handwriting is both spiky and loopy, I would say. So the loopiness points towards creative and artistic individual, and the spikiness points at him being energetic with great potential but also impulsive. This is definitely heavy pressure. Pressure tells us about the intensity of his emotions. Heavy pressure, high intensity of emotions, deeply feeling the emotions, intensely feeling the emotions. Also, if you look at the page usage here, he writes mostly on the right-hand side, which means he's rooted in the past. There is something in his past he cannot let go. Okay, let's jump to the letter specifics. If you look, he writes both in cursive and in all caps. Now, with all caps, it's really difficult to interpret the personality of a person because they have a tendency to hide their personality. The reason for it is, in handwriting, we have three zones. We have the middle zone, we have the upper zone, and we have the lower zone, aka id, ego, superego. Upper zone tells us about the intellect, about the spiritual stuff. The middle zone tells us about day-to-day, daily stuff. And the lower zone tells us about our instincts, what's Hi, Ricky. And the lower zone tells us about our instincts, our subconscious, our materialistic side of approach to life. Also, those three baselines might indicate future, present, and past. There's Ricky with me here. Hi, Ricky. Say hi. Whenever somebody's writing in capital letters, they're only writing in the middle zone. That's why many characteristics are getting lost and it's more difficult to interpret person's personality. So whenever somebody's writing in all caps, it means they're trying to hide something. They don't want to be fully open. They don't like sharing too much. They're suppressing their feelings. And they also might have narcissistic tendencies. But all caps is only a part of his handwriting. So let's get into the cursive. We have the I dots, and the I dots are kind of floating here. We have some of the I dots being put straight up above the I. We have some of these dots very high, and some of them are to the right. I letters in general are talking about memory, precision, attention, concentration. These traits seem to be changing for him When you have the dot right above the eye, it means that you are highly detail-oriented. When the eye dot is very high, it means you have a very active imagination, and also that you have little contact with reality. On the other hand, the dot towards the right-hand side signifies activity, impatience, mental quickness, precision, initiative. So he kind of mixes all of these traits. Now the T letters. So the T letters are rather tall and the T bar is being put high, which talks about his aspirations in life and how he feels about these aspirations, how confident he feels in achieving these aspirations. We have the loops in the letter L. These loops signify fear of criticism. When we look at the letter P, some of them have a medium stem. The loop signifies altruism and the medium stem signifies vitality, activity. He was a very active person, definitely. Look at the G letters now. He writes them in quite a few ways. We have G like this, like this, like this. G letter talk about our instincts, our libido. If he writes G like this, it means it's a subconscious desire for recognition, but also privation during childhood. So if you know something about his biography, you know he was a member of the Jackson's 5, the band created out of his siblings and him by his father. But let me just look at some interviews with him. He says, quote, "I never had the chance to do the fun things kids do. I totally identify with Peter Pan, the lost boy from Neverland." Also, he says, "My childhood was taken away from me. There was no Christmas, there were no birthdays. It was not a normal childhood, nor the normal pleasures of childhood. Hard work, struggle, pain." Have you seen my childhood? I'm searching for the world that I come from. So this privation during childhood, that trait we have in his handwriting, it might be connected to the fact that he grew up on stage. And as he says himself, he never had a normal childhood. So, wow. Wow. On the other hand, if he writes G letter like this, it's creativity, it's creating ability and also kindness. Letter G in this way, it's creativity again. Okay, if you look at the letter M or N, they basically look like in a garland. That's how we call it. So whenever M or N is in a garland, it points towards evolution, kindness, grace. Now notice how he writes his E letters. They're all very closed. Closed E signifies you're a selective listener. A's and O's are ovo, which is creativity. And now we look at the R's. The R's. The R's have a lot to do with creativity. Yes, but the way you write them provides us with the insight of how you express that creativity. So let's have a look how Michael does that. Okay, you can have either a singular formation or you have a double formation. He has it in a singular formation. So it means he's expressing his creativity in the right way, in the right way for him. So well done. And you remember how we were talking about the zones in handwriting, right? So if you take a general look at his handwriting, you can see that most of the letters are accumulated in the middle zone. Middle zone, which is the daily, day-to-day tasks. He puts a lot of attention there. He puts a lot of attention to how he appears. Let's summarize this person. First, we have creativity, creativity, creativity. Then we have lots of passion, lots of activity, lots of initiative taking place. He had some problems with intimacy, fear of abandonment, and relationships in general. He was stuck in the past. His feelings were all over the place. He was feeling emotions very deeply, and he was putting a facade of self-control to hide these feelings. That's why he might be appearing also as an organized person. He knew what he wants, he knew how to get there, he was going for it. Yeah, and again, creativity, creativity, creativity. Alright, thank you so much guys for staying with me in this video. I really hope you enjoyed this analysis. Please let me know down in the comments below. Also like and subscribe if you like this video. Let me know down in the comments below which person handwriting you want to analyze next. And I wish you a beautiful afternoon. Bye bye.